Okay. Getting pumped
Yes.
on Life and Junk. All right. So we're re-listening to and reading through Galatians. We're watching the first video I ever made in Leavenworth and discussing. Yeah, thank you. So this morning,
Come here, Ezra. Sit by me.
Thank
We're
you.
making a video.
yeah, there you go. And through our conversation, right? So part one is we're reading Galatians 2:15 through 21, which I will read.
Yes.
And that is, we who are Jews by birth and not Gentile sinners. I'm going to read this version because it's my jam. I'll put you here, little thingy, and come over here. All right, we who are Jews by birth and not Gentile sinners know that a man is not justified by observing the law, but by faith in Jesus Christ. So we too have put our faith in Christ Jesus, that we may be justified by faith in Christ and not by observing the law, because by observing the law no one will be justified. If we seek to be justified in Christ, while we seek to be justified in Christ, it becomes evident that we ourselves are sinners, does that mean that Christ promotes sin? Absolutely not. If I rebuild what I destroyed, I prove that I am a lawbreaker. For through the law I died to the law, so that I might live for God. I have been crucified with Christ, and I no longer live, but Christ lives in me. The life I live in the body, I live by faith in the Son of God, who loved me and gave himself for me. I do not set aside the grace of God, for if righteousness could be gained through the law, Christ died for nothing. So, first part that we were talking about is, I've been crucified with Christ. I no longer live. Christ lives in me. So, and then the other part, I do not set aside the grace of God, for if righteousness could be gained through the law, Christ died for nothing. Those are heavy words. Also, he mentions the grace of God, which is very misunderstood in the church.
Yes.
Grace is not just the opposite of mercy. In that sense. Like, mercy is getting what you... No. Mercy is not getting what you deserve, and grace is getting what you don't deserve. That's not accurate. God's grace empowers us to be transformed into his image.
Which is, we've had this conversation too.
Yes.
God gives you what we've not earned and deserved. It's a free gift, but it empowers us to...
Yes. It's that part, and I forget where it is, where we get to boldly approach the throne of grace. Hebrews. With confidence.
Yeah.
And it's because as we approach the throne of grace, we know that grace empowers us to become more like him.
Amen.
So we boldly approach the throne of grace, knowing that with grace, now we can look more like him.
Yeah.
So, and I just said that twice, but that's important.
Yeah.
So we were reading this and talking about how this morning with the kids, we were doing a little fun devotional with Sadie Robertson of Duck Duck Dynasty, which is what the kids call it, Duck Duck Dynasty. Hebrews 11. And how Noah and Abel and Enoch and Abraham and Moses and Rahab and Isaac and Jacob and Joseph and other people. Did I say Moses? Probably.
Yeah, you did.
Gideon, thanks, buddy. Samson, Jephthah, David, Samuel, Barak. Anyway, all of these people were given promises. They were given a promise, and they didn't get to see the fulfillment of that promise in their lives. But the promise that they were given was worth enduring all that they endured. It says, where is it? Some were faced with jeers and floggings. Others were chained and put in prison. They were stoned, sawed in half, put to death by the sword. They went about in sheepskins and goatskins, destitute, persecuted, mistreated. The world was not worthy of them. They wandered in deserts and mountains and caves and holes in the ground. They were commended for their faith, yet none of them received what they had been promised. God had planned for something better for us, so that only together with us they would be made perfect. The promise they were given was Jesus. It was the fulfillment of the law and the restoration and reconciliation back into relationship with God. It was the end of the law. It was to be one with him again. And we live in a time where that promise has been fulfilled, and most of us don't even know it. You know, I don't even know what we do when we read this. You know, like, wow, promises. Like, when we read this, we should be like, oh my gosh. You know, like, it's been fulfilled.
Yeah.
I get to live what they longed for, what they died for, what they were sawn in two for.
Yeah.
You know, I live it. I live with the Spirit of God in me. They didn't get that. I get that.
What does it say that they were waiting for us? Or what's that last line you read?
It says, God had planned something better for us, so that only together with us they would be made perfect.
Gosh, that's
We've
intense.
been made perfect. It says all over the New Testament. We've been made perfect through Christ. And so they've been made perfect with us. It's
powerful.
phenomenal and crazy and mind exploding, and
The fullness.
it's
now.
the fullness now. We do not
His
have to
kingdom
wait
has come.
until
Yep.
we die.
Yeah.
Like these people did.
Yes.
They had to wait. After they died,
Yeah,
they
good
died
for them.
and had to wait
Yeah.
for Jesus. But I don't have to do that.
Yeah.
I have relationship with him now. When my body dies, I continue in
Yeah.
relationship with him. I already have my new life.
Yeah.
They had to wait for it. That's nuts.
That's awesome.
So we should really not take for granted and not walk like the world does. We really should not be living a life of sight when we have been given the mind of Christ.
By faith, not by sight.
Amen.
Can we look at this?
I don't know. I mean, all sorts of questions could be asked while I'm making a video, but I'm out of here.